Hello everyone, let's continue. Last time we did Afghanistan, okay? India, Afghanistan. Okay, one thing I thought this was 22 kilometer. I got confused with this. This is 22 kilometer. This is Siliguri corridor. I covered this in your second or third lecture, I guess, or fourth or fifth. I have covered this. Okay, Siliguri corridor. It is also known as your chicken's nest. No, chicken's neck. Like if you cut this area, this whole northeast will get independent. Not independent, I mean cut off from India. Okay, we will cover this when we will dealing with Bangladesh relations, because we will have to make sure that Bangladesh is always our friend so that we can move our troops. Okay, this is around 300 or 330 kilometers. You no need to best remember. If chronology, you check for chronology, but which nation India shares largest boundary, rank 1, rank 2, and last, rank 7, rank 8. Okay. Now, I'll give again a brief about what we did last time so that we can further our syllabus. Now, first thing that I would like to make emphasis on is that when you are writing answers, okay, the GS papers, you have to at all costs listen. You all know what is going on, you know the whole story. At the end you need to write only these many words around. Okay, so consider this very important trick that I'm telling you. Any answer in IR that you want to write, you can write like this. And how you will judge that if I'm right or wrong? You check if you are able to write about Afghanistan or not. You check if you are able to write about Afghanistan or not. Let's see what is our India's interest in Afghanistan. This. Then what language you start using is you start taking this point always in any, whether region or anything in international relations. You always use this trick. You will be able to write 250 words easily. First you start with security angle. So security angle mein what will you write? That we want to deny Pakistan strategic depth. Strategic depth it has na Pakistan in Afghanistan, right? So security angle what we have? Simple. You write security and then what is the security? You try to remember the story. You will be able to write that we want to deny Pakistan strategic depth. Similarly, if China, what is China's? China would want that Pakistan keeps on having strategic depth in Afghanistan. Okay, so just remember how to navigate the answers. You have to know how to navigate the answers. Security first point, then you just start terrorism, because terrorism is not just limited to one place. Terrorism is a global phenomenon now. Al Qaeda is a global terrorist organization. Okay, Taliban may be only in Afghanistan, but Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, it is in Pakistan. Okay, who created Al Qaeda? USA. Who created Taliban? ISI. Afghanistan's own people, knowing people, talim having people. Talim means knowledge having people, degree having people. But ISI provided arms and ammunition. Okay, Taliban is in control of lot of territory in Afghanistan. Most probably, government can be formed by Taliban only. Taliban is a entity to reckon with. Don't think that it is a terrorist organization. It is a, let's say, state power. It can emerge as a state power any day. It was also earlier a state power. So don't ever get confused between Al Qaeda and Taliban, because if you get confused between two, whole of Afghanistan you won't be able to not understand. And then don't confuse between Pakistan Taliban. Pakistan Taliban is different. That is Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. Okay, that is different. Al Qaeda created Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. Okay, Taliban ISI created. Al Qaeda USA created. Okay, Al Qaeda getting funding from Saudi as well. Taliban no. They trade. Trade what? Opium. So, let's say first point that you start writing in any of your answer, you start thinking like that. Not just answer. You start thinking like that. Security perspective first. Done. We want to deny strategic depth to Pakistan. Let's say simple. Second will be your terrorism because it is a global phenomenon now. Now terrorism. What can you say? Obviously India's stand is what? India's stand is that we are against terrorism. We want to eliminate terrorism. And anyone who is checking your answer can't eliminate marks for this because he has to agree that okay, yes, terrorism is a problem. Also, Afghanistan is here near border, so Kashmir region it can easily let's say influx of terror people, terror producing people, terrorists. They can easily come, or let's say some can come and start training or creating instability. So terrorism to keep spread in our land. Kashmir is because nearby only. Then third point, simply connectivity. See, I am saying that for any answer, any, whether the Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, anyone, you start thinking like that. Security, STC, security, terrorism, connectivity. Connectivity, why? Because we have a bottleneck. What is bottleneck? Bottleneck, this is a bottle. So bottleneck is like this. Okay, if this is your area and this is your height, area into height, only this much volume can pour out of here. It does not matter whether it is storing hundreds of liter. So what is the final, let's say, output that can come in volume? Area into height. That depends upon only your bottleneck, not this. Okay? You have to understand these things. How to write, how to use words, because you guys are facing problem in, let's say, understanding these tough words. You have to understand, you have to start using these words. Connectivity, I know you don't use that in usual language, but while writing answer you think like that. Connectivity, we want to trade with Afghanistan, but Pakistan creates bottleneck. Pakistan says that Afghanistan can get its truck here but cannot get trucks back here with our stuff, let's say, in it. Empty trucks they have to take. They can bring trucks here, sell over your Wagah border, but they have to take their trucks empty. That is why air corridor we have established. We have established agreement with Afghanistan, air corridor. So that thing we write in a connectivity, simple as that. Then you say after security, you mention different kind of security. You say energy security. Energy security how? Because you have Tapi pipeline, Tapi, T-A-P-I, Tapi pipeline, Tapi. Okay. Pakistan also provides security in its domain. Afghanistan also needs to be stable. Then only it can work easily. Tapi pipeline, it is a fuel pipeline. Okay. From Turkmenistan, there is Caspian Sea ahead. So from Caspian Sea, there are reserves there, oil reserves, gas reserves. Like pipelines we have at our home or any place. Same like that. But let's say if Pakistan stops, creates blockage here, what can we do? Similarly, if Afghanistan is unstable and somebody blasts that pipeline, then what we will do? We will suffer. So from that perspective also, again, I hope you are getting how to write answer. You can write any answer. You can write thousand words if you just remember how to write. How did we start? Security. Security, what will we write? Simple one thing. We want for our security that Pakistan, we want to deny Pakistan. Deny. We want to deny Pakistan. It's strategic depth. Language matters. It is IR you are writing. Strategic depth you have to write. Strategic depth. Then simple. Terrorism. Global phenomena. Easily write. We don't want, because it is near Kashmir, we don't want any elements coming over. So from that perspective, okay. Then you say connectivity. Connectivity. Anytime you write this for anyone, it will always be acceptable. Connectivity, you mention Tapi. You mention Tapi, okay? Or anything you can mention. There are too many in your. See, always there will be some or another infrastructure development going on. You can use any one. Point is, you have to mention connectivity, then give one example. This shows, connectivity shows that your mind is structured. Structure may it is working. One example, it shows that you are aware of what implications are there. Okay. In fact, don't write Tapi here. Tapi write you write that in energy security. Okay. Energy security, Tapi, because it is a pipeline, not a road. For connectivity, you say that Afghanistan linked to Central Asia. Iran also we are using here. Chabahar port. What is the aim? What policy we will give example to show that we know things about what is happening? We will say India's link east policy. Link west policy. Now you see this thing. Link west policy. India is trying to do and saying India link west. Why? Because China what he is saying, that I will be building road, I will connect West Asia. So we also, China is our padosi. So we will say our contender, competition. So we say our policy also should reflect that, the importance of Central Asia. How? SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay. Then how? Enhancing our role in Afghanistan, enhancing our role with Iran, furthering our role with previous USSR dependencies like Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. Okay, let's say now what fifth point you can write. Pause and you think what fifth point you can write. Just 5 to 10 minutes ago, like 2 minutes ago maybe, I told you one very simple concept, that how Taliban getting funding. Let's say Al-Qaeda funding Arabia, rich. Taliban, drug trade, opium trade. It is not just about political gamble there in Afghanistan. It is about your economy as well. So you can write about drug trafficking. You want to have a good role and good engagement with Afghanistan so that opium trade cannot happen via Pakistan near Punjab, Urta Punjab movie. People throwing from the other side of the Pakistan border. But where is it coming from? Pakistan is not growing. Who is growing? Afghanistan, because here territories are owned by Taliban. They have to fund as well. They don't know how to make iPhones. What they know? How to grow. Then from grow, this point you can automatically, then you will come to, okay, growing. Then logically you will say, what is your interest? You can keep in mind this thing, that if they are growing and they are growing this, then food security you check. Obviously not for our food security. You can use food security. See, we want these things, let's say, okay? Or let's say natural resources. Some mine there will be, some iron ore there will be, some, let's say, different rare metal, anything could be there, but they don't have the technology to extract that. Hence we can come. You give one example. You give any, let's say, there is this iron ore mine that we have in our possession. We have signed contract. Like China also, a copper mine, $3 billion worth of it. China has. Similarly, we also. What is the name? Hajijak. Haji. Haji Jak. Hajijak iron ore mine. We have that in our possession. So let's say $5 to $10 billion of iron ore we can extract. And estimated Afghanistan's total natural resources is worth approximately $3 trillion. So it is a lot. It is a lot. Okay. Understand? Raw material, just after a while it becomes a product. So $3 trillion of raw material can amount to, let's say, 5 to 600 trillion of your actual product. You never know. A little 2-3 gram of, let's say, uranium, or let's say 2-3 gram of silicon or silica can amount to your chips. This not eating chips, your computer chips. You have computers, supercomputers, they use that also. Okay, the prices increase 100 times, 20 times, 50 times when it is converted to a final product. Okay, now tourism, you think? No, tourism we can't. Plus, it is not our issue. We don't want this. We want what? Security angle we have checked, terrorism, connectivity, energy. Okay, then what? Natural resources, drug trafficking. Like this, you start writing answers. Now, to achieve this, if you want to, let's say, achieve these points, let's say you want to achieve these points, simple hai, give something, take something, like that. How do you achieve these things? As simple as that. You have managed. You provide food to them. You provide food to them because they also want something from you, na? You provide food to them. Most probably India is a food producing state, so food security you keep. Any unstable country, you put food security, because most probably we would be supplying food. In Middle Eastern region like Saudi Arabia and Iran, there also you say food security. You provide rice, they will provide things that you want. They don't know agriculture, they don't have that much productive land. Arid land, desert land they have. Okay. Now, I hope you understand how to write things. Now 6 points. Okay. Now let's suppose 10 words, 20 words. 20, 15. Yeah. 2 line, 20 line, it means 6 to the 12. 200 words it is. And 50 words you use for, let's say, concluding and starting. 25 and 1 line for starting, 1 line for concluding. Done. So any answer you can write like this for IR, but just start structuring things. Start structuring things and make sure you connect most of the topics. You have connected security, terrorism, connectivity, energy security, drug trafficking, natural resources. Natural resources means economy. It will provide job. You write things like that. It will show that you have touched various points in the syllabus. Don't be like, no, just one answer you are giving, that Bollywood movie they watch. And so we should help Afghanistan because Pakistan we have fight with. So Afghanistan should be our best friend, and we and Afghanistan can live happily together. And Kandahar also. Don't write like that. Nobody is going to read that. Okay. Be holistic. Try to touch many points. Try to touch many different aspects. Start thinking like that structure. Okay. Now, regarding Afghanistan, we also have, now how do we try to get these things that we have talked about now? Now again, same point, some agreement you try to think. First, strategic partnership agreement. Simple. You understand this, that strategic partner agreement, you don't always have to remember what it means. Just write what points it has, few points. Strategic partnership always means these things only. Let's say duty free access. You are giving duty free access to your market. Come and sell in Bengal, come sell in Madhya Pradesh, come sell in Bihar. UP. Okay, whatever you can produce, you try to bring, just like USA tried to did with Britain after post World War II. That okay, whatever you are able to produce, you come and sell it to me. Okay, so it is one tool that we are using. Second tool, let's say air corridor agreement, that Pakistan won't give us access. Pakistan is trying to be blocking us. So let's fly a plane, because if this is your ground, after some level it is not your space. Okay, this space, just like in our water, international water, similarly space also, it is not like till infinity you are having that India's. Okay, it does not work like that. Then for some infrastructure, if you remember any point you try to use, like Salma Dam, Herat, I think in Herat it was, you keep checking, I'm not very good with facts, as you can know. 22 kilometers, it is not. Chill, I'm kidding. Okay, Salma Dam. Okay, then you try to give some other example. Let's say how you are able to get students from Afghanistan in India on scholarship. Approximately 10,000 students you have, let's say, given scholarship to. You are giving training as well. So like this, you try to write answers. Food security, you provide food security for India, because once you start doing these things, you automatically becomes important from Afghanistan's point of view. Now, one more important strategic thing you have to understand. Okay, I am going fast now today, because most probably we'll have to cut short the class, because longer the class it is, it tougher it get to me to retain. Okay, retain in the sense that there are issues with speaking, your throat collapses after some time. Okay, okay, never mind, but let's think about this. So India should always be looked upon by Afghanistan as a place of opportunity, that we can go here and study, we can come here and get food, we can come here and trade. You provide opportunity to anyone, they will come. Simple as that. Meanwhile, Pakistan always trying to create bottlenecks. I have explained. So you try to retain these words. You have issues with these words. You try to make sure that you understand those words in Hindi, and try to fake it till you make it. If you can, try to use those words. Eventually, you will be using rightly. Okay, don't get bothered about that or bogged down by that. Now, one more thing that I want to emphasize. India does not support Taliban, let's say, obviously. But you have to understand that in the Afghan peace process, India was not even a stakeholder. Okay, कौन है? USA है, कतार, पाकिस्तान, मेन तो ये है पाकिस्तान, तालिबान and government of Afghanistan. What if India? So there could be subjective questions like what, because now what currently has happened, this peace process has been cancelled. So this is a new opportunity for India to carve out a role. You know, like cake, you try to get the bigger piece. Similarly, this is a good opportunity for India to carve out a role in peace resolution, because it will be remembered forever. And no, India should also be cautious that Taliban could emerge as a major stakeholder. Coalition government, if becomes, let's say, Taliban could emerge again as a ruler. Taliban is nothing. You think of it like Communist Party of China. You think of like that. It is just that the names in our memories, we are inclined to think of them like, let's say, terrorist or someone with AK-47. Okay, they are like that also. But so is communist regime. Okay. So don't feel that they are terrorist or all, let's keep in mind that in statecraft, you don't have choice. If Taliban comes, if unfavorable regime is coming, then also you have to make sure that you have to deal, because you to want things na. I don't know that you have, let's say, there. What are you going to do with that if Taliban comes? Are you not going to extract that? You have to extract that. If Taliban comes as a government, what are you going to do? You are not. Is Afghanistan not gonna stay important for you to enter Central Asia? It is yet gonna stay important for you. Then what is the issue? So India should not be making these statements that we are totally and unbiasedly, or let's say there is no even slight possibility or categorically. Okay, again, heavy words don't get. Categorical means one and final. Categorical. So India should not be in a categorical stance or have such a categorical stand that we are against Taliban. It should accept that Taliban could come as government, and then you have to deal with that also. So make sure you are having favor. See what China does. China always takes side with the whatever government does, whatever government comes, and that is why China always has an edge in every place. That is why we face troubles with our Maldives relations as well. Okay, now you also think about Iran. Iran is a Shia. We will cover Shia and Sunni later on. I'll cover that very well. Don't worry about that. Just understand this is a sect of Islam which is Shia, and Afghanistan with Pakistan's interference and Al Qaeda's interference, all Sunni promoting non-state actors. So you think that Iran will never support whom? Taliban. Iran will never support any one of these. Meanwhile, China is also not supporting any Taliban regime because it wants stability, it wants peace, because nearby border, Xinjiang, this province, Xinjiang province is totally Muslim province, Uyghur Muslims. Okay, radical ideas. It is not that Muslim is an issue. The issue you think about it is poverty is an issue. Poverty, any place you have this issue. In Africa, why they are doing this? Poverty. If you are poor, if a region is poor, you don't get skilled enough to get work. And when you won't get work, what will you do? You will feel alone, that you don't have anything to do or anyone to do. That is why those youngsters are easily able to get influenced by any supreme ideology or anything. They start feeling like, let's say Ayodhya Mandir, that Karni Sena, those are Hindu. But who are these stupid people who are, let's say, destroying the temple and all? Who? They are these poor Hindu people, unskilled, no skill is there, no work they can get. So what they are doing is 30, 35, 40 age, and they are roaming like nothing to do. Meanwhile, if someone gives them some goal that, see, Ram Mandir we will make there, then they feel like they have something to do in life. There's some purpose to their life. Okay? But the point is, we are shown always in Islam's name. So, Islamophobia, it is becoming very prominent in West, USA and all. So, it is not a good tactic, because it is also a part of your politics. It is called polarizing politics. Polarizing politics. Polarizing politics is like between left and right. Right is like, polarizing means that it is clear cut definition. Either you say that everyone is my brother or sister, or either you say only me and me. There is no middle level, middle ground. Okay, I like some, that also. I don't like that, but I like that also. It is like, if you don't like pizza, then it means you don't like Italy as well, because pizza came from Italy. Okay, never mind. Just try to keep good perspective in your mind. Try to see the whole sides, different sides of the coin. Okay. Meanwhile, let's say now, as I was saying, that what China and India stands are different. India always go for your idealistic kind of ways that I will try to do best of the best. Simply reason why? Because you want to someday become United Nations Security Council permanent member. United Nations Security Councils, in that, you think of it, what regions are there? UK, Russia, then USA. Now from Asia, this is Europe, because Moscow, Europe side it is only. Although Russia has land in Asia, but you think of it that Russia population lives in Europe only, and they are Europe. USA different, America. Now, understand one thing. China is there, I agree, but and France is Europe. So from Europe, three people are there. US is one America, and China is representing Asia. But no understand one thing, that India also has 1.35 billion people. This also has approximately utne hi. Okay, so we are the largest population. You combine total, you can't collectively count like us. So these types of issues you are facing, and eventually you would want to go in United Nations Security Council. That is why you have group as well, your support group, Germany, and let's say who supports, Brazil supports you. Okay, BRICS country mostly supports each other, not BRICS, Brazil, yeah, China. BRICS में Brazil, Germany. Okay, Germany and Brazil, at least these two, are always favoring India, that you should go for India. But obviously, India also have to favor them, that if you try to go to UNSC, then we will also favor you. Okay, so these kind of personal diplomatic thing they are engaging in always. Meanwhile, you understand, China, what your approach is, that I will try to be ethically sound. I will not to play politics in the world. What politics is no ethics. And world politics, if you come to world politics, in world politics, if you are not trying to play politics, then what are you doing? If you try to stay ethical, you cannot play politics, because politics means no ethics. Everything is fair. Okay, so if you go in your ethical ground in world politics, then you are not going on a right path. Evidence of this we see how. Let's see one thing. Understand one thing. For last 200 years, 100 past and 100 just recent, USA dominant and Britain dominant. How did they dominated, and what were the core crux of issues that they faced? The core crux issue that they faced to maintain their hegemonic powers, or let's say any kind of dominance over the world, was control of strategic islands. Okay, because if a ship is coming, then it needs to refuel, then refuel. Plus, let's say a base is established here in an island. Anything you do, you try to act smart. I will send troops before you are able to finish whatever you have started. Okay, now in this regard, I would like to take you to Maldives. This is your Maldives, Itadu region. Now you understand, this is a nation state. This is one of the state that faces tremendous amount of dilemma regarding its future policies and future stances regarding climate change, because it is the one of the first countries that you will see vanishing. Okay, it is very You think about it that from outside we are not able to look at it where it is. Yet it is one of the very important states nowadays. Why? Whenever you will be seeing what issues we are facing, there are two kind of issues that India faces. One is your personal issues. You know how your personal issue you feel sometimes, just like in Afghanistan, whatever we discussed, how to write answer, let's say security or terrorism, it is your personal issue. Then there is some other kind of issue that you always deal with, that India has to deal with. One of that, and the core is always that. Earlier it was how USA was trying to, let's say, manipulate you. The other is now China. How what China is doing results in a loop which makes you do something else. Let's say you can ignore Maldives, but if China is getting involved in Maldives, then you would want to come and stay friends with Maldives. So you, for the mere reason because some other China, the nearby, can create a base here and try to encircle India. Already it has port here. Now if Maldives also secures a port here, then access it can, near, let's say I'll show you. This is called your string of pearl policy. String of pearl policy of China, where China is trying to secure strategic locations in your Indian Ocean region. Here Gwadar port, here Djibouti, first base of China, here Maldives, here Sri Lanka Hambantota port. Okay, here it is trying to make Krakanal. So you think of it. It is a string. How, if India wants to grow, it needs to make sure and assert that India has the supreme power in this area. That India is a power in Indian Ocean region. China can be a power in South Asia, South China Sea area. But understand one thing, it can't come and effectively show dominance here, because that ultimately what it does is undermines the authority of India. That, see India, in your ocean, your name ocean, I am not letting you move freely. I have bases. What can you do? I came to your area, in your backyard, and yet I am showing my dominance. Okay. Now we see these things with Maldives. Because Maldives is in our neighborhood. And what is our policy's name for neighborhood? What is India's policy? India's policy for neighborhood. It is called Neighborhood First Policy. Neighborhood First Policy. That means that we give importance to our neighbors first, then the rest of the world. Remember, I discussed this with you. Ministry of External Affairs. Two spheres of nations. One, your neighbors. Second, rest of the world. So you see the importance that is given to your neighbors. C. Raja Mohan in his article has said one thing, that until and unless India will not prioritize its neighbor, it cannot rise and shine in the world politics. And it is very, very true. It is very, very true in the sense that now you are trading with ASEAN $100 billion, but the most of the trade that you do is in your nearby, and when you trade, you stabilize the neighbor, and you cannot tell me one nation state which has, let's say, troubled or unstable neighborhood, and yet it is able to rise significantly. USA is able to rise because USA don't have many neighbors, only two neighbors, Mexico and Canada, to deal with. Canada rich, Mexico normal, not that poor, not that rich, but again two only. Why can't Yemen rise? Why can't these rise? if you take their oil, they won't be able to rise. Always in crisis. Syria, never people will be able to develop at the level of human development index or any list. Okay, so you cannot rise until you have a peaceful neighbor, and for peace you have to stop disputes, and if you do not resolve your disputes, you do not increase the level of trade, and if trade increases, people to people contact increases, obviously you won't be able to fight much and you will keep on developing. So till you are able to keep on engaging with fight with Pakistan, see how it benefits. It benefits no one. It does not benefit Pakistan, it does not benefit India. You are not able to trade properly with Central Asia. Okay, if let's say Pakistan was our friend, we would have been creating road here, we would be creating infrastructure here, Pakistani people would be coming here, working in movies, we would be going there. So both are collateral losers. It is not like anyone is winning. Who is winning? Only the short term power gainers. Musharraf, small term, 5 years, 6 years, you would want to feel like you have ruled a country, that only you are winning, not the masses. But moving ahead, going to your Maldives. See, as soon as it was concluded that rise of China is a fact, the dimensions of the world changed altogether again. Why? Because it meant one thing, that there will be a re-struggle, reignite. It reignited the struggle of dominance over what? Over your island states, island countries. Now, this is also an island country, this is also an island state. Plus, its move of Pearl of String, plus its move to counter United States of America to show dominance over Indian Ocean region. It is very much important for China to influence Maldives. Let's think about what India and Maldives had. India and Maldives always had a good relation. India and Maldives, we gave them water when they needed. We provided them with army when they needed. Recently, there are two kind of political domain in Maldives politics. President was Nasheed. Now when Nasheed's term finished, new president came, Yamin. Now President Yamin was friend with China, President Nasheed was favorable towards India. Okay. This thing I hope you understand how it will lead to a issue. After President Yamin came to power, the court of Maldives, obviously President Yamin put charges on Nasheed about, let's say, illicit affairs and illicit wrongdoings, and court gave a verdict putting Rashid, ex-president Nasheed, to, let's say, sentenced to him to jail. This made Nasheed move to London to stay in exile there. That he will be staying in exile. Okay. After a few weeks, the Chief Justice of Maldives, he cancelled the verdict. He said there is no more charges over Nasheed. Next day what happened was that Yamin, President Yamin, the current President Yamin, put CG, Chief Justice of Maldives, in jail, and rest of the judges in jail, leaving only few judges, putting pressure on them and getting the verdict back. Then next day, what he did was put Maldives under emergency. This is your recent development last year. Okay. Now, one thing. Modi is known for one thing only: traveling. At least on memes and Instagrams, you see jokes. Then Modi keeps on traveling. One nation that he did not visit Maldives. He even went to Seychelles here somewhere, crossing like this, but did not enter Maldives. Why? Because of President Yamin and his favorable nature towards China, which is implying a security dilemma to India, or due to increasing engagement of China. See how much it affects. It is my backyard. You are a small territory. I can dominate you whenever I want. You don't even show on map. Yet you are single-handedly trying to shake hands with China. China is my neighbor. So in my area you are living, I let you live. Don't you realize that? This does not sound logical. Okay. Now you understand one thing. Why Maldives has importance to us and China? Simply because it is a strategically located island. Strategically located. Obviously we can't trade with it much. We can't do anything. It has not much population. In fact, in future maybe we would have to get refugees from there, because water will escalate and land will get submerged. But till then, strategically important. It can act as base. It can act as refueling area. Okay, refueling point, vantage point. Okay, rendezvous points. But Modi did not visit Maldives at all. Now, this was when Yamin was imposing emergency, and remember this thing, that for emergency they have a parliament there also in your Maldives, and your parliament there, it is known as Majlis. Majlis, like our parliament is known as what? Not Rashtrapati. Let's say Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha they have Majlis, and from Majlis you need to have 43 members. 43 members must support you to start emergency, to evoke emergency. He did not do that. So it was illegal emergency. Now opposition parties of whom? Previous president who is living in London now. What was his name? Does not matter. Nasheed. They kept on requesting India that you please intervene, you please intervene, you please intervene, you please intervene. India did not budge. India did not come. We did not enter Maldives. We did not try to, let's say, institute peace or stability back there. Now, this is in a lot of contrast. This is not like our nature. Why? Because this kind of thing happened previously during the times of Rajiv Gandhi. During the times of Rajiv Gandhi in Maldives, a coup took place. Military, rebels, nexus, they took over the government. I am talking about, let's say, not sure about the date, 88, 1988. See, Rajiv Gandhi time. So during Rajiv Gandhi time, a military rebel nexus coup took place. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's Tamilalam, who? LTTE, Liberation Tiger of Tamil Eelam, LTTE, Tamil Eelam. They were funding and fueling Maldives, these rebels, to take control of the government. At that time also they kept demanding, requesting India that you please come, help us, help us, help us, and we sent 1500 soldiers approximately to put these guys down, these rebels. Okay, so if we have a history of helping Maldives, they had a water crisis. We gave them water as well in ships. So if we have such a history of, let's say, helping them, why did we not help them this time, 2018? Simply because one reason. Understand, last time when Maldives was requesting India, who was requesting? The current president. Whoever was having the chair, the sitting president was asking, who was demanding India. So that's why we helped. This time who is asking? Yamin? No. Yamin is friends with China. He is the one who is imposing emergency. He is the one who is arresting Chief Justice of Maldives and other judges. Okay, then who is asking? Opposition parties. Opposition parties are requesting India to come and interfere in Maldives. And India always and always has maintained that it is our policy. It is our Indian policy to not intervene ever in the matters of your internal affairs. Okay, non-intervention, policy of non-intervention in internal affairs. Okay, I agree with one thing if you are thinking about it, that Rajiv Gandhi intervened too much in Sri Lanka, right? He sent his Indian peacekeeping force, tried to negotiate with Tamil Eelam, then demanded for more internal reforms to accommodate Tamils. Was that not intervention? Yes, it was. But understand one thing very clearly. He intervened. Indian state follows this policy very strictly. Policy of non-intervention in internal affairs of anyone. Rajiv Gandhi was able to intervene with Sri Lanka only after signing Sri Lanka-India Peace Accord. India-Sri Lanka Accord. Not before that. He first made sure that I have your signature, that I am coming and intervening. But you should agree that, okay, it is allowed. You should not be saying later on that India has done this, done that. Why? Because let's suppose in 2085, reform starts happening in United Nations Security Council. That time what you will start saying is, if some country wants to, that no, India does not have a clear history. Clear, it has stains. Rajiv Gandhi was able to influence. Okay. Right now, we don't have any stain or, let's say, black mark over our history or record. We have always kept everything in check, according to law, according to paper. Plus, you understand one thing. Plus, the other option to intervene was the other option. So this option, that's why we did not go to Maldives. What is the second option? Second option is that if UN Charter, if something is happening in Maldives that is not according to UN Charter, and there are three things: human right violation, then your war crimes, okay, and then what is the third one? Human right violation, war crimes, and ethnic cleansing. So it is very much possible for you to engage with Rohingyas. It is very much possible for you to engage with Uyghur Muslim in Xinjiang region. But you can't because of Cold War, then it will be. You can't because China is only backing there. Plus, refugee will come, you will only face. Here why you can't do anything? Because simply because there is no ethnic cleansing, no human right violation, and no war crimes. What is going on? constitutional, you are not going. You are not being constitutional. You have political issue there. Okay, and you do not intervene in your politics. Okay. Now, after the election in 2000, let's say 19, that London guy who was in London, Nasheed or Rashid, you check, but name doesn't matter. Nasheed, Rashid. Now he was not contesting elections, but in his place some other guy did. Okay, his name was Soli. Let me check once. It is better if I check and then say. Otherwise, Ibrahim Soli. Now Ibrahim Soli won. Now again, what we observed, that Modi went there for his oath ceremony. So for 5 years nobody is going to Maldives, and now we are going. The 5 year of not going made sure that Maldives know that you cannot ignore us. We are the dominant power. You live in our water. We have Lakshadweep Island here. Your Lakshadweep Sea is the name of the sea next to you. Okay, you are living in our backyard. Stay according to our rules with under our ambit. You try to get too much romantic with China, we will not even bother to help you or see what is going on with you. Important message delivered. Again, important message. Friendly government back. Modi has shown that, see, it is not like I have forgotten you. It is that if you try to oversmart and try to become friends with our next door competitors, China. Okay. Understand this also, what Yamin did. Yamin has made one stupid move, that Yamin, see, Maldives sell stuff, but Yamin did was free trade agreement with China. Now China is known for what thing, you all know? Cheapest good, no dollar cost. So the trade balance has been in favor of China. That is like this is China and this is Maldives. I'll show you what. Let's say Maldives sells to China 100 rupees and China sells to Maldives 1000 rupees. So after the day, what do you think has happened? After the day, what has happened is that Maldives is out of 900 rupees total. Okay, and free trade, this was happening earlier also, and Yamin, that stupid guy, has signed FTA to show how much it means for us to have you as our trade partner. Also, this free trade agreement was meant to be signed with India earlier. This is a signal to show us that, see, I am going in a Chinese ambit. I don't know what he was trying to do. Got no respect or anything. Our PM went everywhere in the world. You, our next door neighbor, he did not come. What respect did you got now? I don't understand. But yet, China free trade agreement and it is deficit. So you see, after a while, what will happen? You think this will raise concern for India, because this we are seeing what can happen now. After few years, you can go in ambit of China due to its debt policy. Debt trap. Too much deficit it is. So all the money it will keep sucking. And your people will be like hooked on those items. If it is selling something for 2 rupees, your people want that for 2 rupees now and same quality. How will you provide? You'll have to keep maintaining. Eventually what will happen? Your foreign reserve will get reduced further. Okay. Effectively it is a debt trap. Then China will come and say that you give me this land. I will create a base here. You don't worry. I will provide you loan. We already have seen this thing in Hambantota, how China tries to use its debt trap diplomacy. We have seen that in Djibouti also, that near Africa. Where is Djibouti? This one is Djibouti. Okay. Similarly, here also Pakistan, debt trap. Pakistan does not have, let's say, any honor, first thing, or credibility to ever be in a position to repay it back. Eventually, Gwadar port will be taken over by China. There is no point. Is India has to learn how to deal with this issue, because eventually things will go with China. Okay, now how will you manage these things? First thing is that you try to make sure that everybody knows that this thing is going on. You try to lay emphasis on your this policy that China is trying to do. You have called this pearl of string. It is a name that your security experts have come up with. Pearl of string policy of China. You make sure that people agree that this is a genuine policy. This will show effect if Maldives come in the ambit of, let's say, China. But this is not going to happen soon, the Maldives, because of the change of government, because of Soli. Soli is that same Nasheed's puppet, let's say. Nasheed because was not contesting election, so he is from same coalition, okay, favoring India only. So we are rest assured that for next 5 years, 10 years, India and Maldives can build strong relations. Okay. Now, I think Maldives, we don't need to do anything more in Maldives. Why Maldives is important? You try to understand. Simply, base. Base means strategic location. This is first point. Okay. So it helps your navy. In also our relations, very good relations we always have maintained with Maldives. Only during the time of Yamin, Muhammad Yamin, only during his time they tried to form a axis with China until this year. Now we are back on track. Soli government is there and we don't have to face any issue. We can move forward with our friendship with Maldives. Okay. It is a small state. It's different agenda and dikkate like climate change. Okay. And Yamin was so successful. Yamin, see, even today, if you understand one thing, you try, if you are now reading newspaper, Sri Lanka, are you observing what is going on? There was this Sri Sena is your president. He was your president. One day, out of nowhere, what he did few months back, what he did? The Prime Minister, what is his name? Vikram Singhe. He removed him. Okay, and Rajapaksa installed Rajapaksa as PM. Now India, US, Britain, everyone was feeling like, what are you doing? There is a constitution process. Follow the due process of law. But what China was doing, China came next day. Xi Jinping came and he congratulated Rajapaksa. Now you did not demand for popular support in the parliament. You did not demand any show of hands or vote. Yet you think when you have to relate this thing. China, whatever government comes, it makes sure that it comes and tries to take the first movers advantage. Meanwhile, India keeps on dwelling into the idealism and no, it is not constitutional right, not saying anything, taking its time. I am saying this because this we can see in Taliban. We should be in a position that if even Taliban comes today as government, as a legitimate government, then India should be in a position that you say that okay, you are Taliban, let's try to build relations from here. You have to be in a position that things are not going according to you. There is not enough in emotion, let's say emotional attachment you don't feel. Maybe things are not going right. But then again, do you think Putin is doing very honest things or right things? No, yet you are engaged, right? So you don't have to be that idealistic. You have to come to a realist term and just giving you a perspective, right? This China, because they are in constant clash. Sri Lanka, this is Sri Lanka, but we will come to Sri Lanka later on. Okay. So what was I saying? That see, during Yamin, China was able to influence Yamin so much that there is a near this Andaman area, there is a summit that you they take part in. You call it Milan, and 16 different nation states come in their boats, and you like roam around here and here. Maldives was the 16th country, and it did not participated. It did not participate that year. Last year, yes, 2018. So who was doing this? Yamin was doing this. Under whose influence? China. Not even influence. It is like you know a big fellow, then you try to show the other fellows attitude. This was one of the ways he was trying to show us attitude. In response, Modi's attitude was also justified. Never visiting Maldives. In fact, as I said, went here as well, Seychelles, but did not go here. This is the route for Seychelles. Okay. So what we are seeing is that the island nations, island countries. See, 2-3 questions have already come in past 2 years in prelims regarding what these island nations. So because the importance is increasing because of US plus rise of China, and rise as China will keep on rising, India will compete with it better and better, because India cannot let China rise alone. Either India will rise together with China, or they will get in a cold war. But China and India are good enough in that relation that they won't go in that at that route. Okay, China is considering US as its competition, not India. Meanwhile, India thinks China is our competition. Okay, Reunion Island, Mauritius, Reunion Island. You keep reading about this. Comoros Island, these are all important. Okay, these are all important nowadays, because all the islands here, your Paracel Islands. I told you why China, South China Sea issue, island diplomacy. Okay, so you make sure that you understand the relevance, geostrategic relevance, because now you don't say that Indian Ocean or Pacific, you say Indo-Pacific, Indo-Pacific as one. So the importance of everyone has risen too much. Okay, so let's end this, and you keep check of this Papua New Guinea as well, because China is in Papua New Guinea is very poor country, but it has hosted this year beginning this event which had USA, France, these kind of rich nations coming to this. What is the name? Papua New Guinea. Now obviously Papua New Guinea cannot host an event like this. What was the event? Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Papua New Guinea hosted. See how China takes opportunity, knowing that Papua New Guinea is not rich enough to host, so it will start giving money. That you take money from me, you build stadium, you build everything. Okay, 16 those nations you host, effectively developing relation, goodwill, plus Papua New Guinea is getting prestige, and prestige because of China. So Papua New Guinea is in ambit of China, and now it is a island state, Indo-Pacific. You have Djibouti there, and you have Papua New Guinea here. So if you are able to, you understand why everything is happening. Papua New Guinea, you are getting indulged in, leading to effectively what? That India also will have to come and give money. So think of these island state as current today's non-aligned wali states, because while you were at non-land, USA was trying to, let's say, pamper you. USSR was like trying to pamper you. You want to show eyes to USA, you could go like here with USSR. So USA will say, okay, 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 I'm sorry, I'm sorry. If you go with USA too much, USSR will say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Similarly, today, the new non-aligned type of power, who is building? Island states. Island states, small island countries, those. Because islands are in demand. So we keep that in check, and I think we will move. I was hoping that I'll take small class only today, because I want you guys to cover up. Many are covering up. So Maldives we have done. Okay. So I don't think you should have any problem with this, and you keep learning. You let me know if you face any issue. Okay. Chalo.